Hi, this is a tutorial about how to play the AntiTank in Red Orchestra 2. This tutorial focuses on how to take out the enemy tank and ignores the rest of the tasks you need to do as an anti-tank soldier. It is based on personal experience and it is not complete, so feel free to check out other tutorials and guides. With that being said, let's start some background music and start the tutorial. First of all, use your anti-tank grenades and satchels. These are your best weapons against the tanks. They are really powerful, and the anti-tank rifle should only be used if you can't get close to the tank.
A tank coming up on the right side.
So, here is the T-34, and the first weak spot is the whole side of it. You shoot it behind the tracks and behind the gears, and it does huge amounts of damage. Especially that spot between the third and the second wheel with the red triangle. One drawback with this weak spot is that you have to hit it with a close to 90-degree angle. If you deviate from this, it is possible that your shots won't go through and you won't do damage at all. You can nail some pretty distant shots with this. But you have to stay close to that 90-degree angle. As you can see here, I'm bombarding this tank with shots at the wrong angle, and I'm doing little to no damage to it. If you are seeing this happening, try to get into a different position and get a better angle at the tank. Our next weak spot is going to be at the turret. Here is the T-34, and here is where you need to shoot. I found that only these two spots are vulnerable. You may have seen stuff like this in other guides and forums, but I found that this is rubbish. You should only shoot at the two spots shown above. Let's see it in action. So the main goal of this weak spot is not to damage the tank itself, but to shoot out the tank gunner. Shooting out the tank gunner is great. Obviously you are getting a kill, you are reducing the tank crew by one, and you are confusing or at least annoying them. These two spots are usually a little bit darker than the rest of the joint, so that's one thing that can help you find them.
There is enemy at grenade.
You can hit these spots from almost any angle you want, and most of the time it will work. These shots are zoomed in so you can see it better. They are all clear kills. If you become familiar with this weak spot, you can nail some pretty distant shots. You just need to have reasonable aiming. So the way tanks work is that there are always 3 people inside, and you can shoot them out with a tank of your own or this AT rifle. And if there are no people remaining in the tank, then it self-destructs.
Jön a tankjuk, megint ott van átszélőbe. Vállatot hallom. Ó, ma ennyi volt, értem. GG. Ha mondjuk még áll, de már szerintem mozogni nem. Na még egyszer. Ezt így szépen néztem végig.
So here it is, I shoot at the tank, I take out one crewman, and watch how synchronized they blow up. That means that I just shot out the last man in the tank. Sometimes you can actually damage the tank with this weak spot and blow it up right away. It's pretty random. Here it is, that's all I have to say about the T-34. These are the only weak spots that are worth shooting at. I haven't talked about the air vents at the back of the tank, but you won't really have the chance to shoot at those realistically. You can use these two weak spots to reliably annoy and take out the enemy tank. Okay, moving on to the Panzer IV. Your most important spot here is going to be the bottom plate. This is really easy, guys, you can hit it from almost any angle you want, it doesn't matter, and from my experience you have about 60% chance of killing the tank right away, and about 40% of doing no damage at all, but it doesn't really matter, you just hit it one more time and it will probably blow up. And by any angle you want, I mean any angle you want. If you just have vision of the bottom plate, there you go, you should shoot that. If I didn't convince you already, here is 25 more shots. And 25 more. Yeah, just shoot at the bottom plate. Anyway, if you don't have vision of that, here is our next spot. The turret one still exists here, however, it is much less obvious and it is harder to shoot. So only choose this if you don't really have anything else to choose from. Next we have the bottom plate at the back side of the tank. It is basically the same thing as the front one, but it is much harder to shoot because it's steeper. but you can do it with reasonable aiming.
Use the half track to drive in behind me.
The next one is the side of the tank. This whole red area is vulnerable, I found. But your angle of attack really does matter here. Once again, the closer you are to 90 degrees, the better. You can shoot out some crewmen with this one, but the overall damage you are doing to the tank is pretty low. However, if you don't have anything else to work with, it is still better than nothing. Once again, if you are trying to shoot at it at the wrong angle, you will not be doing damage to it. So instead of shooting at it ineffectively, get into a better position. Maybe try to shoot something else, like the bottom plate. Next we have what I like to call the front crack. It is not the easiest spot to shoot at, but it can help you out in some situations.
Rock him, I'll kill him.
It is that little crack or slit below the window and the mounted MG.
It was dead.
That's it. That's all about the Panzer IV. I haven't talked about the air vents, but you have plenty more options to choose from. You can also shoot at the tracks for both tanks, but that only disables mobility, it doesn't damage the tank, and it is not really worth to waste your ammo on that. One more thing before I end this video. I found that it's much easier to damage a tank if it's moving. So keep that in mind.
Nice.
I don't even know what I'm hitting in these next clips, but I'm pretty sure I only hit because the tank is moving. Thanks for watching. If this wasn't enough, here are some more videos you can check out.